Alrighty, welcome back to another JK movement class. For today's class, we're working on the hips and spine. We're looking for some control through the lumbar spine, the hips through rotation to help with anyone with any sort of SI joint issues. So we'll start with CARs. In terms of the equipment we're using today, I'll be using a resistance band. It'll be listed in the class for you. Resistance band, we also need a squat rack and a bench. So you will need to do this class at a gym. We'll get started. We'll start with spine CARs and hip CARs. So give yourself a nice big hug. Take a breath in. And then start rounding your spine forward. Now, if you do have SI joint issues at the moment, make sure you're only going through any pain-free ranges. Twist to the side, left, side bend, lift your right elbow up. Extend, 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 extend. Come over to the side and round forward. One more time. Twist into the left. Side bend. Extend, lift. Imagine like lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. Come over towards the other side. Round forward. Get back to center and then more reverse directions. Twisting to the right. Side bend in the left elbow lifts. And then from the low back, the mid back, the upper back, keep your legs engaged. Come over to the other side. Around forward. One more time. To the right. Lift your left elbow. Extend, extend, extend. Other side. Round forward and back down. So I was just saying, so if you're going through any, when you're going through this class, if you have SI joint issues at the moment, make sure you're going through pain-free ranges. Don't push through the pain, you're just going to make things worse. Let's do the hip CARs. Coming to grab onto the rack here. We'll do our outside. I'll do my left hip first here. From there, I'm holding into the rack. You know what we'll do today? Just for a little bit more stability, grab yourself a block or a foam roller, really anything. Any kind of object that you can rest up against the rack here like this with your hip contacting the rack. Actually, I'll do that from over here so you can see. So I'm here like this. So I have to do it here or else I'll bang into my equipment. And I'm just holding onto the rack here. So I got my outside of my right hip contacting the block and it's jamming into the rack here. So from there, lift the outside leg up, drive across your body, just doing our hip CARs from here. Lift up towards the sky, take it wide away from you. Lift the outside ankle up towards the sky and kick the hip back behind you without extending through the spine. Just kick back, draw the knee towards opposite knee, kick back again, take it wide away from you, and then lift up. Lift your ankle and shin up towards the ceiling. Lift, 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 and back down. Make sure you're still jamming into that block with the right side of your hip. One more time. Across and up. Take it wide. Outside ankle tries to face up towards the ceiling, and you kick back behind. Knee to knee, kick back again, take it wide away from you, lift up, back down. Let's go straight to the other side. Same thing, breath in, a little bit of brace here. These are higher tension than our morning reps. Drive across your body and up, take it wide, 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 wide. Lift that ankle up towards the ceiling, kick back, knee to knee, kick back again. We go wide. And lift and back down one more time, across and up, take it wide, lift, kick back again, pain-free ranges here. Don't feel like you have to match anything like I'm doing. You're working through your pain-free range. Keep that top of mind for this class today. All right, let's do spinal segmentation as well. We'll do this, let's do this from this position here. So I want to go onto a bench here. When I come down, I'm not going into like a downward facing dog or anything like that. I'm just going to now allow a nice generous bend of the knees here. From there, when I start an extension, I'm lifting my tailbone up towards the sky. If this is too much for you as well, just come and do it from a tabletop position. That's fine. So tailbone lifting up, bending the knees, reaching the chest forward. So I'm in that extended position of the spine. From there, keep the chin and chest reaching forward. And then from the tailbone, start tucking and rounding your way through the spine. And pain-free, if this is painful for you at all, go down to a tabletop position and do it from there. This one's a little bit more challenging. So tabletop will work fine. Again, pain-free. Tuck your chin into your chest, keep your chin tucked in, and now lift your tailbone up towards the sky. And slowly bring your spine back into an extended position. We'll do a couple of versions of this today with more of an emphasis on the lumbar. Chin and chest reaching up and nice and slowly from that pelvis tuck and round your way in. Do not push through the pain. And modify the position to make it easier if you have to. And then it'll be coming down to that tabletop. One more time. Chin stays tucked. We lift the tailbone up. Slowly extending through the spine. All right, very good. So now we're going to move into is, I don't know why I've got that there. We're going to do spine rotation work, but I'm not going to start with that. This is in the wrong order. So let's come to a position here where we're going to work a little bit of hip internal rotation. So I'm going to use a bench for this setup here today. I'm just going to do one round of a long held isometric for this one. So from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my right leg up on the bench here, just like so. And it's just, there we are, that'll do. So if you can see there, I've got the right leg just up on the bench here. And I've got my hip making a line to my knee making a line to my ankle. I might show you from this side. So we're just setting up in a 90-90 position with a bit more abduction in the hip. So I'm here. Yeah, that probably looks a little bit better. There we go. And the right hand will come behind me here. Now, if this position is way too much for you, if you're like, no, that's not happening, no worries. Just do it from here, from a regular 90-90 setup here. Just like so. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in the camera here. Just like so. All right. But if it doesn't irritate you, you can come to this position here. Just a different setup. Neither is better or worse. Just a different setup. My right hand's going to come behind me here. All right, so what I'm doing here, my left hand keeping me propped up, and I'm turning towards the right. My hip is in line with my knee, and my knee is in line with my ankle here. We'll hang out here, take a few breaths, and what I'm thinking about doing is reaching my right side pant pocket toward the ground and turning my chest toward that side as well. Take a few breaths here. Again, if this position irritates you at all, just come down to that regular 90-90 position. A few more breaths here. While we're breathing, I'll just go over our cues. So our cues for this one, for the pails, the first contraction, is think about driving this foot through the bench and down towards the opposite side, trying to externally rotate the hip. So the foot is driving through the bench, almost as if it could come straight down through the bench and up the other way. The second action will be trying to bring this ankle over and lifting off the bench. So externally rotating, then internally rotating. Let's give it a crack. Let's take a breath in. Start creating some tension, grip your fingers into the ground, squeeze your left leg, and then slightly first start trying to externally rotate. Again, think about driving that ankle through the bench. Almost you could drive it through the bench into the ground. Let's build our intensity up a little bit higher. And then get to what feels like around 50 to 60% intensity today, and just hang right there. We're going to do a long held isometric today. Again, if this position doesn't work, just modify the position. You don't have to do it from this one. This is just a different position. Trying to rotate at about 50% intensity through the whole body. Squeezing here. Keep working. Go for about 10 more seconds and we'll reverse direction. When you reverse direction, get your body positioned exactly as it is. 3, 2, 1, reverse direction. Imagine getting that ankle off the mat, lifting up towards the sky with that ankle now. Internally rotating the hip. Squeezing the adductors. Looking for some sensation to the outside of the hip. Continue turning your chest and torso towards the right as well. Try to find the cramp. The cramp is not bad. We want to look for those cramps. Keep squeezing. All right, and relax. You can come out of there, nice. And casually. All right. So before we switch to the other side, come to a tabletop position here, and we'll do one hip car, or we'll do 2 hip cars from this position. So here in this tabletop position, draw your right knee in towards your chest, take it wide away from you. From there, imagine getting the inside of the knee to face the back of your mat and kicking up towards the ceiling here. Draw the knee towards opposite knee, kick up again, go wide, squeeze the shoulder armpit area and back down. One more time to the chest, wide. Try to get the inside of the knee to face the back of your mat and kick up. Knee towards knee, kick up again, go wide, squeeze the shoulder and back down. Nice. Let's go still on our bench here. Still on the bench. And we're going to do the same hip, and we're going to do external rotation for that same hip, and then we'll switch sides. So same thing that we just did for the internal rotation. I'm going to show you a different setup here. If it doesn't work for you, then you'll be flat down on the mat in a regular 90-90. So we're going to use the bench for this one here, and coming down onto the bench in a 90-90. So if that's way too much for you, no worries. Adjust the bench. You can even come all the way up here if you need to. So adjust your bench to whatever height you need. Then the setup would be the same here. Actually, no, it'll be the other way around. So I would be here like this, with my shin across the bench this way, okay? I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to be flat down with the bench. So I'm coming down here, I'm using the rack for a bit of support. If you don't have the rack, you could do this with a bench, and you could do this holding onto sticks instead. I'm just finding a bit of a stretch by reaching my tailbone back and up, and my belly button forward and up. Again, just so there's a bit of a stretch. Don't go so far that it aggravates you. And that might mean that you're not coming all the way to your end range position, particularly if you have some symptoms right now. There's a bit of pain, a bit of discomfort in there. Just go to the position that you can work in, and that might be with the elevated bench, all right? Even if you can regularly do this, the elevated bench might be the more appropriate option for you right now. Take a few breaths here. And I'm just kind of sinking into the stretch. I'm trying to keep my hip point here in line with my knee, so I'm not off to the side here, or over to the side here. I'm trying to keep it fairly in line. So our cues here for our isometric, we'll do again just one set of this one. We'll do a long held one here as well. The first action, we'll be thinking about driving this ankle and shin through the ground. So basically what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make this action of the hip, but it's stuck in place. That's our first action. Our second action would be thinking about lifting that ankle and shin off the mat. And we want a really good contraction through the outside of the hip. So internal rotation first, and then external. All right, let's take a breath in. Embrace, create some tension by squeezing into the block, squeezing into the rack, or your sticks, and then gently first start thinking about internally rotating the hip. Think about driving that shin and ankle through the bench. Just find that light intensity first. Just try and find that contraction through the hip. Let's ramp our intensity up a little bit higher. That was around 20%-ish. I didn't say that, but 20%. Now we're 40%. Still reaching belly button forward and up. Let's ramp it up a little bit higher. Final feels like 60%. Just hold right there. driving. Trying to keep the knee down here as well the whole time. All right, 10 more seconds and then we'll reverse direction. When you reverse direction, keep reaching that belly button forward and up. And then we'll squeeze outside of the hip to try and rotate and lift that shin and ankle off the mat in 3, 2, 1. Reverse directions now. Keep reaching forward with the belly and chest. Squeezing that outside hip here. Try not to let the adductors take over. They'll generally try to chime in here to really work. But we want this through the outside of the hip. We're at that 60% mark and we're just maintaining same intensity. I'm really squeezing my arms into the rack here. Sorry, I forgot to get my timer today, so hopefully these sets are around the same length in time. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. And only if it feels comfortable to you. If it doesn't, then skip this. Just leaning forward and then pressing the shin down to come back up. Not super intense here. Just reaching forward, coming into the stretch, and then driving the shin down to come back up. So that 3 more times. Reaching forward and driving. And not going all the way to end range. We're just getting a bit of movement in here. Reaching forward, driving down. One more time. Reaching forward and driving down. Alrighty. Before we switch to the other side, I'm just going to turn this back around here. And we'll do a bit of lumbar segmentation. And you can see me there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come onto the bench. I'm actually going to dangle my whole torso, so I'm a little bit out of shot here. A little bit out of shot. We're going to come forward. I'm just dangling forward over the bench here. And all I'm going to try and do now, I'll just show it from here first so you can see it a bit better, is just lifting tailbone and tucking, lifting and tucking, but really slow and controlled. You want to try and be moving each piece of the spine one at a time. So either just here like this, that's totally fine, or reaching forward, it will be a little bit more challenging from this position. And this kind of blocks the thoracic spine here as well. So I'm just leaning over here, and then nice and slowly I start lifting tailbone up towards the sky. I'm just trying to get as much extension through the lumbar as I can here. Again, if this position is too much for you, just come to a regular tabletop or just hands on the bench. When I feel like I can't lift up the tailbone anymore, I reverse, and then from the low point of the spine here, or the sacrum, I tuck and I round. When I run out of rounding through the low back, you kind of probably feel it up towards mid-back a little bit here. I reverse, I lift that tailbone up. And slowly that spine coming back to an extended position. Again, when I can't go anymore, nice and slow, and just continue from there. Nice slow movement. So for the SI joint, we want interdependence of the hips and the lumbar spine. So we want them to be able to move without calling on other joints. We want them to have good, strong control so they can do their job really well. And that SI joint doesn't get overworked. Just give me one more in each direction. And then we'll do the other side for the hips. All right, nice. Cool. So let's set that left hip up. I'll just swing this bad boy around. Just like so. Good. Actually, I'll come over here. Sorry, I'm just stuffing around today. I don't usually record classes in here. All right, so I'm going to bring my left hip, the inside of my knee, and the inside of my ankle onto the bench here. Again, if that position doesn't work for you, no stress. Just come to this position instead, which would be, hopefully you can see that there, 90-90, hip drawing a line to knee, knee drawing a line to ankle. This position works totally fine, or we can try it in more hip abduction. But again, if it aggravates you, then don't do this setup, just come down to the mat. So from there, I'm turning towards the left. So you can see I'm sort of off towards the right here. I'm turning my chest and torso towards the left, and then that's moving my pelvis over the femur, which is stuck in place. Just fine towards the end range there, we get a little bit of a stretch. And again, if you're going all the way to this end range position aggravates you in hip internal rotation, just come back and turn a bit more towards the right, all right? So you don't have to do it all the way at end range, because we're doing long-held isometrics anyway, so we're not really trying to open up space here, we're just trying to get a bit of control in the hip. So our cues again here, so this is my left leg, so my left foot will be driving into the bench and trying to drive through the bench toward the ground. So this way, driving down and through, and then the reverse will be trying to lift this ankle off the bench. I'll explain as we go anyway. All right, let's do a set. Let's take a breath in. Embrace, create good tension through the body, and let's start driving that heel into, or the inside of the ankle into the bench. Trying to externally rotate the hip. So you drive that ankle in, and you're squeezing outside of hip. Let's build our intensity up a bit higher. Let's find 40% intensity. Let's go higher. Find what feels like 60, and let's maintain on 60 now. So those cues of driving the foot into the bench, that's kind of what you want to start with when you feel it. And then when you get more skillful with this kind of work, you can kind of just like, okay, I'm just going to contract external rotation of the hip. It just takes a bit of time to develop, but you want to be doing both. Let's keep going. Again, not a max effort at 60%, but it should still feel like quite a bit of work through the whole body here. And these long-held isos are really good for building that neurological control and that finding that tissue that we're trying to target. A lot more time under tension here. Ten more seconds, and then we'll reverse direction. When you reverse direction, again, don't come out of the position, stay in the position, and even maybe get a little deeper. 3, 2, 1, reverse directions. Try and lift that shin and ankle off the mat or off your bench, whatever you're on there. Maintaining that 60% intensity. Keep going. Don't forget about contracting that right leg as well. It'll drop off. I know mine just did. We want good tension through the whole body. We're trying to drive force from the rest of the body into this left hip internal rotators. Let's go 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. All right, again, nice and casually we come out of there. Let's come back to that tabletop position. We'll do hip cars from here as well. Let's move this. Hey. So back to tabletop. We'll do one hip car from here. I'll just scoot back here. So left knee to chest. Actually, I'll show you from the side because we did the other angle last time. Left knee to chest. We go wide away from us. Trying to keep the other hip nice and stable. Can try to get the inside of the knee to face the back of the mat and then kick up. Knee towards knee. Kick up again. Go wide. Squeeze to shoulder. One more time. To your chest. Wide away from you. Find inside knee, back of mat, and kick up. Knee to knee, extend to the sky, go wide, squeeze the shoulder, and back down. All right, let's set up for that external rotation. So we're going to use the bench again. Again, on the bench here, you're either going to be flat down like I'm going to be, or this is the right side this time. I had it wrong last time. Or you're going to be elevated up on the bench like this. Okay, so my knee is high, my ankle is low here. So my left leg's going to come across. And we find our setup here. I really like this setup with holding onto the rack. It's a really good support, but it does work with sticks as well if you've got sticks. So, I'm just scooting around here. So right now, my right knee is kind of off to the right. What that's doing is bringing this hip a little bit out of rotation. So it's kind of angled off to the side here like this. So I'm going to scoot my right leg over towards the left. And now I'm more square with the pelvis. Here, my ASIS, my little bony bit here, is kind of lining right up with my knee. And again, you're not having to go all the way to an end range position here. Maybe you've got it elevated. Maybe you're leaning back a little bit. I don't want you to have to come all the way down here. That's probably just going to aggravate your issue. Just find a position where you get a little bit of sensation in the outside of the hip, and which can do our long held ISO from there. Yeah, nice slow breath here. We're just getting used to this position. Pretty much with any style of training you're doing, whether it's mobility training or yoga or even weightlifting, CrossFit, like if you get into positions and it's actually painful in your body, you need to alter that position. So you need to adjust it, like I've said here, with the different modifications. Potentially you need to tell whoever you're working with this position didn't work for me, it hurt my body. Like if you don't tell your coach, whoever you're working with, then they're not going to know. So getting into positions that work for your body. And that's why mobility training is really, really powerful, because you can modify the positions in so many different ways to suit whatever body. But never feel like you have to, if you're watching these videos with me or doing any of my programs, never feel like you have to match the exact position that I'm in. Not that I have crazy range or anything, but work with a position that works with your body. All right, that's a good period there of breathing and rambling. Let's do a set from here. So the first action here, we'll be thinking about driving this ankle down through the bench. The second action will be lifting off. We start light and we ramp up. Let's take a breath in. Get some good tension, squeeze your sticks or grab onto the rack, and then gently first start driving that shin into the bench. So ankles try to dig through the bench here. We're trying to internally rotate that hip. That contraction that you can feel. So when you drive that ankle down, that contraction that you can feel there, when you drive that ankle into the mat, contract that more. So now that you can feel that by digging that in, now squeeze here more to find more internal rotation. Let's build up a little bit higher. Let's find 40%. Let's find 60%. Find that contraction. Now the stuff you can feel working in there, try to squeeze in there more, directly in there. There it is. Keep finding that. 10 more seconds and we'll reverse directions. When you reverse directions, you want to squeeze more outside of hip more than adductors. Try to keep those adductors not taking over in 3, 2, 1. Reverse directions. Try to lift shin and ankle off the bench now. Find that outside hip. Keep reaching that belly button just gently forward at the same time. That's our last isometric we'll do today. I think so anyway. That's it. Keep finding that outside hip. Keep gripping into your bench or your squat rack. Ten more seconds here. Give me a little bit higher if you got it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's right. And last time we did these as well. So relax. Also, if this is really uncomfortable on your knees here, you can think about folding. It's probably too late now, but if you do this class again, you can roll your yoga mat up a couple of times to bring it under the knee. From there, you can bring the hands forward here to the bench. And again, gently, you don't have to go all the way to end range. Just gently coming down and then driving that shin down to lift you back up. Make these, we'll do about 8 reps here, coming down, driving, pressing, pressing, pressing. And you can think about breathing in on the way down. Breathing out as you press down into the mat. Let's do that 3 more times. All right, beautiful. Whee! Let's come out of there. We'll do that lumbar segmentation drill again. I'll show the different setup this time, just in case you didn't like this dangling over the edge one. I'll show another variation here we can try. So again, either just regular tabletop is fine, or we can try this version here. So here I'm just standing up. I'm sort of lifting my tailbone up towards the sky here. I'm going to tuck my chin into my chest. I'm going to keep my chin tucked in the whole time. I lift my tailbone up towards the ceiling. You won't get much here. And I tuck and I round. When I run out of rounding, I get up towards sort of my mid-back there, I'll pause there, I keep my chin tucked, and I lift the tailbone back and up, extending through the lumbar spine, belly button forward, and I tuck, and I round. The tucking of the chin helps keep the thoracic spine a little bit rounded here as well. So we're just trying to get mainly moving through the lumbar. And just keep going back and forth. Again, if this version's too much for you, no worries. Just do it from a tabletop position. It works fine. All right. And release. What else we got here? Let me check my little notes here. All right, cool. I'm going to pop this to the side here. And now we'll add in a little bit of it's like anti-rotation work for the spine. So I'm going to use a resistance band here. Hello. Kids are awake. Yeah, so I'm going to use a resistance band. So the camera can see me here. Yeah, we're good. And we're going to do this from a kneeling position. If kneeling doesn't work for you on your knees, you can do this from a standing position too. So what I'm going to do, I'm starting fairly close towards, so there's no real slack here in the band at all. I'm going to keep, actually, you know what, we'll start like this. So I'm here, I'm going to turn my torso away. So I'm holding here, I'm turning away to the left. I'm going to straighten my arms out. And now the band's going to pull me back. I'm going to allow that rotation to start. And as it starts, I'm going to try and resist that rotation. So I'm resisting, I'm trying to pull to the left, and it's pulling me over to the right. Eventually it'll pull me all the way over, and I'll reset. Obviously, the further you go away from the band, the harder it's going to be. So make sure you're in a position that's challenging for you, but you can still do the work. All right, so let's do it. So I'm here. I'll start with my arms tucked in so that I can turn all the way over to the left. From there, I'm going to contract over to the left, punch my arms forward, and just from here, just allow the rotation to start. Allow the band to start pulling you back, and then resist. Nice and slow. Pulls you back over. Arms come back in, turn, straighten, and resist. The band I'm using here is a heavy band, so I've got 4 side bands, and this is the second heaviest one. Arms in, straighten. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use the heavy one, but make sure it's challenging. Let's keep it going. Do 2 more. Arms tucked in first, twist to the left, straighten, and just start allowing that rotation first, and then resisting it as it goes. 1 more. All right, nice. All right, very good. Next up, we will come back to this one to do the other side, but for now, let's grab a couple of blocks. And we'll do some hip flexion lift-offs from here. You probably need 1 block, maybe 2 blocks, and we'll just see how this setup is. I'm going to come sit up inside the rack so that I can hold on here. I move my foot onto. Now also, this might be, depending how much hip flexion you have, you might not need any blocks at all. You might not be able to lift over the blocks. You might have to use a smaller object. I haven't done this one before. Let's see how this one goes. So I'm going to come onto the blocks here. I'm going to stay my torso nice and tall here. From there, I'm going to squeeze my knee to my chest, come down, contact, lift back up, and contact. And then we're just going back and forth over the blocks. What I'm trying not to do is allow my spine to move around here. I'm just trying to move that right hip. If 2 blocks is too easy for you, grab another one. All right, let's start with our foot up on the blocks here. I'm going to reach my chest a little bit forward here, so I'm not leaning back, a little bit forward with the chest. From there, squeeze in, contact the mat, and now we're just hovering up and over that block the whole time. It's nice and slow movement, but as soon as you contact the ground, come back to the other side. But when you're moving side to side, make it slow movement. 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, we'll do the other side. So we'll do the other side for that spine, and then we'll come back to this hip flexion one. All right, so again, we're going to be here, arms tucked in, we turn, straighten, and then just from here, just allow a little bit of rotation, and then the band will start to win. If you just stay locked out here, you'll probably be able to hold it for a while. Not that that's a bad exercise, that'll be a good isometric contraction there, but it's not what we're doing here today. All right, so come in, I walk myself a little bit away from the band, arms tucked in, and I turn to the right, twisting to the right, straighten, Allow that rotation to start. And then I'm resisting it. Pulls me over, arms come in, twist, straighten. Contracting right side stuff here. Try to keep rotating to the right as that band wins. We do want the band to slowly win for this eccentric. Nice and slow. Now let's do one more rep here. Hey Charlie. The household is well and truly alive now. Oh, and release. Yeah, I'm always the first one up in this house and the kids slowly make their way out. All right, let's hit that hip flexion up on the other side. So you're in 1 block, 2 block, 3 blocks, maybe no blocks. Maybe you're going to be lifting up over a drink bottle or something like that. Just find something that'll work for you that is still challenging. Again, I'm not leaning all the way back here unless you have to, but you'll probably just be better off just lowering your object. So I'm here, take a breath in, brace, squeeze the rack if you got it, or the sticks, lift up, contact, and just going back and forth, side to side. Again, if this is really too aggravating for you from this position, just make it a little bit easier on yourself by maybe leaning back, lowering your object. Try and keep your torso nice and tall here if you can. Three, 2, 1. All right, good. All right, done both of those. Now let's set up. Try and find a setup here for hip extension. Let's use the blocks. I was going to use the rack and that, but we'll use the blocks instead. So I'll show you from here. I'm going to bring, so you can see the blocks there. Yeah. So I'm going to bring a knee onto one of the blocks here. So I'll just bring my left knee onto the block. I'm going to step my right foot forward into a little lunge here. From there, what I'm going to do is, rather than lifting my tailbone up towards the sky, I'm going to tuck my pelvis under. So tailbone lifting up. Nope, we want to tuck the pelvis. Keep that tuck and then lean forward. So I'm keeping my tuck, I'm leaning forward. I can allow a little bend of the knee here. And I'm trying to find a stretch through the front side of this right hip here. So what really helps me find the stretch is a good, strong tuck of that pelvis. If you don't tuck, you're not going to find the stretch. Just holding here and breathing. And we're going to do one long held isometric from this one as well. So this one's going to work a little bit more the posterior or the hamstrings, but the first one will be hip flexors. So from this action, I'm going to maintain my tuck of the pelvis the whole time. The first action we'll do here is think about digging that knee into the block and pulling it in towards your chest, as if you could squeeze your knee in towards the chest, as if you're flexing your hip. The second action will be trying to extend the hip. I'll be thinking about driving my knee back and up, as if I could do like this, like a donkey kick up towards the sky. And we want to feel a really good contraction through the hamstrings there. I want you to try and cramp and really basically fail on this one. So I'm looking for failure. I want you to find a position where you can literally, you'll have to cramp and stop. That's what we're looking for on this one, just one set. Let's take a breath in. Embrace. Maintain your tuck. Squeeze your fingers into the ground. Drive your right foot into the ground and then start pulling your left knee in towards your chest. Look for contraction, front of thigh, hip flexors while you maintain your tuck of your pelvis. Let's build our intensity up a little bit higher. Find what feels like 40% to you. Whole body at 40%. Let's go 60%. And just maintain right there. Again, we're looking for hip flexors here. If it helps you to close your eyes to find that, close your eyes. Knees trying to pull into chest. Keep squeezing. Make sure in your reverse direction you maintain that tuck at the pelvis. Don't lose the tuck. 3, 2, 1. Reverse. Try to donkey kick up towards the sky. Maintain your tuck at the pelvis. Imagine you could get this knee off the blocks. You won't be able to. If you want to point the toes, you can. If you want to dorsiflect the toes, whatever. I don't mind. Just find that hamstring and glute. Fire it up. I want you to try and cramp it. Don't lose your tuck. Getting a lot of shakes him up on. He's like, what is going on? Almost got my cramp. I hope you got yours too. Let's keep squeezing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. As you relax, let's stay in that tuck. You just allow the left leg to relax here, so you don't have to bring this up towards the sky here. Just allow it to relax. Keep a little tuck of the pelvis, and simply shift forward and back. Nice gentle shift forward and back. I'm keeping my left toes on the mat here. Shifting forward and back. Next time you shift forward, stay there and just breathe. Maintain a little tuck of the pelvis. All right, nice. Let's release our blocks. We'll be in that same position just for a moment. We'll take another stretch while we're here. So same position here. My right foot is forward. I'm going to bend my left knee. My left hand will plant on the ground here. And I reach with my right hand for the back foot. If this aggravates you, just skip this one, please. I'm thinking of reaching my chest forward. And I'm gently pulling my heel in towards my bum here. Holding here. Nice slow breath. All right, and release. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. We're almost done. We're going to do this one. We've got 2 more things to do after this. We're almost done. So right knee is going to come on to your blocks. And the left leg will step forward. Find that little lunge position. Sort of like a lizard lunge, if you've ever done a lizard lunge before. And then tuck that pelvis under. I'm going to scoot back a little bit here. Tuck pelvis and reach forward with the chest. So the tuck of the pelvis here, and I'm thinking about reaching my belly button away from my knee. You're trying to find that stretch to the front of the right hip. And if you find it like with the foot, I generally like to bring the foot up like this, but if you find it better here or here or here, I don't really mind what you do with the leg to find that, particularly that second contraction. It's really just, I think it's just a personal preference. So whatever works for you, I don't mind. But really focus on maintaining that tuck. Alrighty, let's take a breath in. And brace, and then from there, gently first. Knee pulling into chest, press into the block, and then squeeze in towards your chest. As you could bring that knee towards, right up into your chest. Let's build our intensity up a little bit higher, like 40, maintain tuck of pelvis. Don't lose your tuck. It'll drop off immediately if you don't pay attention to it. 60% intensity, maintain that now. Sorry, I had a feeling we're going to do one more isometric. Sorry about that comment earlier. Had you all excited? And these are worth it, particularly this hip extension one. Like, keep working. When you find that contraction, particularly that second one, you find those hamstring cramps, I think you'll learn to love them. maybe not. Maybe that's just me. Don't lose your tuck. I'm going to keep reminding you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse directions. Try to drive back and up. Try to donkey kick up towards the sky. Maintain your tuck of pelvis. Try to find that hamstring glute area. Mainly hamstring. Finding that 60%, we're just maintaining. If you can't find it, subsequent takes you will get there, I promise. It's a tricky one, particularly from this position. There's many other ways to do it, but this is just an easy setup. Keep working. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Allow that foot to come down. Again, maintain a little tuck of the pelvis. Reach forward and back with the hips. Forward and back. Yeah, just a few more times on your own here. All right. Let's pop our blocks out of the way. We'll step that left foot forward back into that lunge. Again, only do this one if it doesn't aggravate you. Right hand steps off to the side. Bend the back knee and reach for the back foot. Also, if you have a lot of range here, you can come down as the right forearm as well. All right, and release. All right. We'll do 2 more things here. We're almost done. The next one we're going to do is from this rack here. A little bit of control through the lumbar spine. So I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll end up doing this one for time. So what I'm going to do is come to this supine position here. I'm going to start with just my feet down on the ground. And the reason I like the rack is because it helps to give you a little bit of support. But if you don't need the rack, that's fine. So what I'm going to do here, my feet are down on the ground. I'm going to start tucking my pelvis under. So I'm tucking and rounding. I'm slowly just rounding my low back off the mat. From there, either using the rack or not, I'm going to round up to a position now. So now most of my low back's off the ground here. And now I'm just going to maintain that. So I'm just going to hold that. I'm just maintaining, either holding onto the rack if you need some support, or just hands up. And we're just maintaining that rounding.
So this is our starting position. We're going to just start here, just feeling that rounding through the spine. You might even get a little bit of shake here, which is good. Just holding here. So my low back is off the ground. I'm just rounding to maintain that position. Hold this for a little bit longer, then we're going to do one little progression from here, but we're not going to come back down to the ground. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to allow my tailbone to come just slightly an inch or two towards the ground and then round away. An inch or two towards the ground and round away, and just keep going. So a little bit of your low back contacts the mat and you round away from that. And just keep going back and forth. This is a spine exercise. You'll definitely feel your core working here as well. And just keep going. We want constant tension here. So as soon as you allow a little bit of that back to contact, just round away from it. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. That's a really good exercise, that one, for building some control through the lumbar spine. So if you haven't done that before, you can easily chuck that into any workout. All right, let's finish with some hip airplanes. So we're going to come to the rack for this one. Just going to move these out of the way. All right, so for this one here, I'm going to come with my outside of my right hip, just glued up against the rack. You can do this up against the wall, holding onto a stick, or use the rack here. So I'm going to reach my other hand forward, and then grab the other side of the rack. If your rack is different to mine, you don't have that, then holding onto a stick here, or maybe probably a stick will work pretty well. So my right hip is glued up against the wall, or against the wall or the rack. From there, I'm going to start lifting my left leg up towards the sky, and I come to this sort of like ideal position or warrior 3 position here. So from there, I'm lifting that left leg up towards the sky. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to keep my right knee straight forward here. I'm going to start lifting this left leg out to the side here. Out to the side, lifting up, trying to externally rotate and lift up. I can't go any more. I allow it to come back in. I lift up, I drive out. When I can't go any more, this time we'll allow a little bit of turning of the spine as well. And then we turn the spine back in and we turn the hip back in. Lift up, drive out to the sides. I'm trying to get my pinky side of my foot up towards the ceiling here. I turn my spine up towards the sky here as well. I turn my spine back down. My leg comes back down. Drive up, hip out first, and you run out of hip. Allow a little bit of that spinal rotation. Turn the spine back down and the hip back down. Let's do 2 more. Drive up and out with the hip, trying to find that external rotation. Turn spine back down and hip back down. One more time. Keeping that right knee straight forward. Lift up, open the hip up. Turn the spine open and back down. All right, nice. I'll go on this side. This thing might get in my way a little bit here, but yeah, that's not going to work. So we'll set up the other side, and then we'll finish with hip cars and spine cars, and we are done. I have no idea what time we're up to here. I feel like this has been a long class. All right, so left leg outside of my hip is contacting the rack. From there, I'm going to come forward here, drive my right leg up towards the sky, holding onto the rack here. So right leg's driving up and out. I try to find that external rotation of the hip and abduction. I turn the spine open. I turn the hip down. I turn the spine down. I come back to center. I drive up, open the hip, open up the spine here. Turn the spine down and turn the hip back down. Drive up, drive out, turn the spine down, and bring the hip back down. Right leg drives, we open hip as much as we can first, and then the spine follows. We turn back down again. If this aggravates you, then don't do this one. Lift up, just like I said at the start of the class, anyone that aggravates you, give it a miss. Drive up, drive out, lift, turn the spine, and back down. Oh yeah, very good. Let's finish with cars, hip cars, spine cars, and we are done. Either that first setup that we had with the rack here, or you can just come to post up on the rack like this. This works well also. From there, drive out. So there's my right leg here. Drive out to the side, lift up, take it wide, lift that ankle up towards the sky, extend and land. Drive back, go wide, lift, 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 and back down. One more time. Land knee to knee, kick back again, go wide, lift that shin and go up towards the ceiling. Back down, and switch sides, grab your other side. Again, I like here, so I'm glued up against the rack here with my right hip. Left leg drives across, and up. We go wide, outside shin lifts up, kick back, knee to knee, extend back again, go wide and lift. One more time. Drive out, lift up, take it wide. Beautiful. Spine cars, we are done. Give yourself a nice big hug. You can come out here, it's okay. Round your spine forward, twist to the left, side bend, extend, 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 over the side. Round forward, one more to the left. Hopefully these are feeling a bit better. Hopefully you feel like you got a bit more connection of what spine, or how spine can move, and how hips and pelvis can move, and how they can move independently from one another. All right, that is our class for today. What time do we have? Oh, just on an hour. Very good. So we're all done. So I hope that really helped you. If you have any SI joint issues, yeah, come back to that class and do it again. Just like I mentioned during the class, if any of those positions don't work for you, let me know. We can try and find maybe to alter the position. We could also find possibly just skipping that version or toning it down, somehow regressing that exercise. Once you dive in, give this one a go. Let me know in the comments how it went for you. I'll catch you next time. Peace. Bye-bye.